Hey, welcome back to another pack opening of Grandma's Church. We're going to dive right in, see what we got. Starting off, we've got John Owen Quo. He's a great Puritan leader. If you don't know him, look into him. He is fantastic. Next, we've got Gossiping. We've gotten this card before, and we've already talked about it a lot. And if that made you chuckle a little bit, I hope fatherhood is treating you well. Discontent Congregant. This is a very popular card since COVID, and people can be discontent for a myriad of reasons. Sometimes it's something small like the color of the carpet or how people prepare their coffee for Sunday school, but sometimes it's a legitimate concern and they're just not a really good fit for your deck. Like you might have a Reformed Presbyterian, but you're playing a First Brethren deck, and that's not going to go over well. Just like if you have an Independent Fundamental Baptist deck, and there's a Methodist congregant. I mean, they're just not going to go over super well. So keep that in mind because sometimes the best thing to do with one of those cards is to trade them to a deck where they fit a little bit better. Next, we've got Foosball Table. This pairs really well with youth events, youth group, Awana. It pairs with a lot of different cards, although it doesn't ever get used quite as often as you would think, but it's a solid little card. Next, we've got Fellowship Hall with Old Carpet. This isn't a bad card, but it's susceptible to a lot of issues. So when you have this card, there's a lot of negative cards that might get thrown in your deck that will affect this one more drastically than some of the other Fellowship cards. Stains, flooding, tears, it's all there that wouldn't affect a normal Fellowship Hall, but the one with the old carpet tends to have them. Also, the Fellowship Hall with old carpet, whenever it's in a pack, you're almost guaranteed to get another damaging card. It's just they almost always go together. So if it's the first card you pull, just keep that in mind. There's only 2 cards left, so I'm hoping not, but even if I get something, you know, I've got a good church budget. I've got dehumidifiers. I think I'm going to be able to handle it because I want to see what the last 2 cards are. Flooded Basement. Okay, we knew this was coming. Flooded Basement is not a good card. Act of God. You can't do anything about it. It's got to be in your deck. But like I said, I've got dehumidifiers, and I don't actually play the Fellowship Hall with Old Carpet, so I think I'll be fine. Okay, so the reason I'm happy is because this pack has been pretty abysmal from start to finish. And typically, if you've got a pack that's been this bad, the last card typically is really good. You know, we're talking possibly holographic, you know, qualified elder or conference card, or maybe you've got, I don't even know, like nursery worker, or there could be all sorts of good cards that it could be. But as bad as this pack is, I'm sure the last card's probably been pretty good. So I'm almost psyching myself up. Sorry, I'm a little excited. So final poll, let's see what we got, and